Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name's HUMNA and I share content connected to art, healing and spirituality. I generally through these videos share things in my life that have happened and that have helped me come closer to Allah, connect to Him and build a deeper relationship with Allah in this world, because there's so many distractions, there's so many paths, there's so many philosophies and religions and cultures and traditions, and each one of course plays an important role for for various reasons in our lives. And I've always been interested in religion, in philosophies, in different cultures, and I've never looked at them something that is foreign to me. Wherever I travel, if I meet some new people, I never look at them as strangers, but rather teachers, that they're going to teach me something about their culture and expand my awareness. And I've always been open to receiving, and which has been truly magical and wonderful as an experience. And it probably is something that I owe it to my parents, because I was moved from one school to another with a small span of time, never stayed in the same school for a very, very long time. So I had to make friends very fast. I learned to deal and speak and communicate to people very quickly, and which also has a downside to it, but I'm just going to speak about the positive. I never felt like I could be in one place for very long to do the same thing again and again. And when I look at people, who've spent like years, 15, 20 years doing the same thing in the same job, I've always wondered, like, how do they do it? Because I personally have had serious issues with something like that. And what I realized was that the more I get closer to being with my Allah, the more He guides me towards myself. And as I go closer to myself, I have realizations about Allah. And some of us are here to learn, and for me, learning was something that was not something I chose to do. It was just something I was put in the ocean and I had to learn how to swim. And every new school that I went to had different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, wearing different uniform in every school, then different ways of behaving. And so I went through so many schools that there was never anything that was alien. That was something like I was very open to whatever will be. I'd kind of learned how to survive, in new places, new environments, speak to new people, and in my head I had this whole thing that nothing's new, everything exists, and it's all they're just all like me and I'm just all like them, even though that wasn't the truth. But I kind of, in my survival mode, told myself everybody's like me. And one of the downsides for that was that I tried becoming like them. I became a chameleon. So if I'd go to a certain school, I would follow the certain rules, and then I would become like all the other people, start performing and pleasing and getting all the grades that I needed to make my space into that class, to fit in. And it did contribute to me becoming a people pleaser. But like I said, I want to think about all the positives. And so my communication skills really developed, and there was not there wasn't a status like there wasn't a kind of group of people that I couldn't connect to or open myself. I became very open to everyone and anyone, because I realized that I don't know how long I have in this school, because my parents will shift me again. So I have to make the best of the situation that I've got. And so I needed to open up, and I have to be the first one to open a certain relationship, to bring my hand forward, to shake before the other person does. And when I will move my hand forward, they will automatically sort of come, forward too. So I've never had that fear of what will they think, or how will they think, or, all that sort of stuff, because I just didn't know how long my time was, and that helped me make the most of whatever I had with each class. And so what I wanted to share was that it's so important to welcome life with an attitude of acceptance. And what acceptance does is it relaxes you. It brings your nervous system into the present moment. And so, for example, when they moved me into a new school, I would accept that that is happening, rather than resisting it, questioning it, doubting it, or sitting there mulling about it. Oh my God, how am I going to survive? What will happen? I would just accept it, that this is happening. And at that point, I had no power to change what was happening. So I'm just going to let it happen with all my acceptance, and see where it takes me. So I had no attachments of what will happen in the school, if I will make new friends or not, because I was very confident that I will make new friends, but not in a pushy way. I wasn't confident, but I knew that I had to be the one to open myself up, so for the others to want to sort of open themselves to me. And the attitude of acceptance helps us, like I said, become very present. But what it also does is it relaxes you into whatever is, just is. And I started owning what I was feeling. If I was feeling scared, I would not be shy to say that I am scared. I would accept myself for feeling scared, for feeling nervous, for crying, for expressing, for owning what I was feeling and not hiding from it. Or if I was angry, I would express it, and not in the most healthiest ways, of course, because I was young. I didn't know how to, but of course I learned over time, and that helped me calm my nervous system and be always in contact with my emotions. Because what happens is we are so absorbed by the outside world, we are so dictated by the outside world, that we constantly perform, and we sabotage our emotions, we numb them, we escape them, we hide from them, we never sit with them as something that is equally important for us to be in contact with, as much as we are learning about maths and chemistry and physics and biology and all that sort of stuff, which is in the external world. In comparison, like, the internal world that we have, the world of our emotions, always gets neglected, is always numbed. It's always something that we escape and we don't sit with. And for me, it became the world inside me was way more powerful than the world outside of me. And it could be escape. It could be escape from the outside world, that I always went inwards. And I just cried a lot as a baby. I was very, very sensitive. If I would see somebody in pain, I would cry with them. I sit with them. I'll hold them. For days, I will pray for, this beggar who would have come to my window in the car, and I would, stand up for what is, for people around me and all that sort of stuff. Like, my internal world, I never judged, never ever wondered what the outside people will think. If I am feeling like I need to cry, then I will cry. If I feel like I need to help somebody, then I will help somebody, not based on what is right or wrong in the worldly sense, but I will stand by that person. And all of these traits actually, being able to connect to my emotional world inside me, was one of the things that actually happened because I was always open to interacting with all kinds of people, rich people, small people, young people, old people, my age people, not my age people, my culture people, my not my culture people. I never had these boundaries of seeing people based on what they look like or what they're wearing or what they're speaking. It was always about what I felt in their presence, because my emotional world was so activated. I was so in tune with my inner emotions that my external, like I would connect to somebody even though we don't speak the same language, even though we don't have the same background, even though I don't understand their life. But because my emotional world was so aware and active, I, at emotional level, I would connect to people regardless of the external world. And it was always fascinating because some of the friends that I made in my life, they used to come to me and say, I can't imagine how you're talking to this person. Like, how is this person, in your party or in your house? And I would think that this person is actually beautiful just because they have tattoos on their body, or they don't work a 9 to 5 job, or they don't have a certain educational background. That does not make them good or bad. That is not the definition of what makes my heart feel at peace with them or want to get to know them. What makes me be with somebody is how I feel in their presence. And that was what really made me focus on in my life. And so when somebody, regardless of what their background was or what culture or language or whatever, how I would feel is I would choose them to be in my life rather than thinking of all the external, labels that they have on them. And I've made some very beautiful friends, and I've learned from a lot of people in my life because I never looked at them as people. I always looked at them as energy, as their soul. And at times it was really hard because it was not truly, because I was so clear in my own internal world, and I was so in tune with my emotions, and honest and accepting of them, that I would most times be able to pick up other people's energy way before they even know what they were feeling. And sometimes I would blurt it out that this is what's happening in your internal world, and people would really get intimidated or scared of me, like as if I'm doing something wrong. And years later, I understood that just because you have the power to read energy and connect to energy doesn't mean you are going to just unravel or unveil somebody just like that. You have to have certain respect, certain boundaries, even in the energetic way. So you can't just read people just because you're able to read them. It's a power, yes, but it's also a responsibility. As Superman says, right? With great power comes great responsibility. And so to have that trust in my own emotions, to have that trust in my own gut that I am reading energy. I didn't have that then, but today when I look back, I feel very blessed that it was because that I opened myself to not restricting my communication with other human beings based on their role in my life, but rather how they made me feel is what I was attracted to always. And that really helped me be able to speak the language of love with them. It was not about what I could get from them and what I could give them, but my presence itself became a sanctuary because I was allowing my emotions to be okay in me, and my emotions felt safe. I could feel my emotions. And so if I am a sanctuary, a safe space for my emotions to be expressed, and so that's what I started doing for other people. And I realized the only reason I am able to connect to people at a deeper level was based on the fact that I was accepting of them. I was accepting my flaws, and so I was able to accept their weaknesses. I was accepting of my sins, on my darkness, of my limited beliefs, and so I was accepting of theirs also. And it's not something that just overnights sort of just happens. It's something that we build on bit by bit by bit. So if you have people around you who you find hard to communicate with and connect with, I would really, really invite you to sit with this understanding of, rather than wanting them to change into something that you want them to, how about accepting you and them for just the way you are in this very moment. If somebody is mean to you, allow yourself to actually acknowledge that this person is mean to me. Be aware of how the person is making you feel in their presence, and that will help you not only be accepting of them, of yourself, but to be kinder to your nervous system, rather than questioning why are they like this, when are they going to change, how will they understand. Because sometimes what they don't understand is not what they don't choose to understand, but it's something that they are incapable of also understanding, right? Because that's not their path. Just because you've had a certain realization or an understanding doesn't mean they also will. So I really hope this helps you in some way, but I'll just read my notes here. And this is in regards to acceptance. When you accept yourself, you relax into whatever is, just is. And when you allow yourself to just be really fully present and relax into the knowing, and you trust the universe that everybody in your life has a certain role to play and they're just doing that what they need to, then you attract miracles. And so this is what I wrote down in my notebook. Being relaxed attracts miracles, for you only are expecting from the one you know is the creator of miracles. When you relax, you trust the creator. You are accepting of everyone in your life just the way they are, because that's what Allah wanted them to be in your life, to play that particular role. So when you relax into accepting them as they are, what you're saying to Allah is, I am happy with the way everybody is in my life. Thank you for making them the way they are, for they are teaching me how to be a better person. And I accept them, and I accept myself, and I accept the situation. And in that moment, in that acceptance, you relax yourself, you trust your Allah, and that's when the miracles start happening, because Allah says, you're ready for more magic. So here's more magic. You trust in the unknown with certainty, because your faith then becomes bigger than any fear that the world plants in you. Your faith becomes much bigger than any fear the world plants in you. You start trusting your creator when you are relaxed, and the more relaxed you are, the more miracles you will attract in your life, because your faith would have expanded, would have become bigger than any fear that the world plants in you. You would reach a place where you will be like, this person is in my life because they're showing me something about myself, so I accept them. Let me see what I can learn from them. What are they doing in my life? What are they teaching me? How are they making me a better person? If they're not making me a better person, then why are they existing in my reality? What is it that they're teaching me that is inside me that I need to heal? And all of these questions will help you, inshallah, to come closer to your heart, to your path, to your Allah, to your light, to your love, right? And you'll be able to be more compassionate towards yourself. So I really hope you receive the message you know, whatever it is that your heart needed to hear in this point in time, that Allah guided you to this video, inshallah ta'ala. Through art I have come closer to Allah, and I always say this, that if you'd like to join me on a creative spiritual journey, then you're most welcome to join my Friday sessions. It's women only, that I run 11 a.m. UK time, and in the session we create artwork inspired by Allah's names and the ayat of Qur'an. So you learn how to build a deeper connection with your Allah. So if you'd like to book me for a one-to-one, all the details are down below, and I'd love to hear from you if in any way these videos help you, ground you, and bring you closer to your Allah. So inshallah, I'll see you in my next video. Take care, and Allah Hafiz for today.